Bill's World at number 120.
Well, guns or butter, what's it gonna be? Should we feed our poor and hungry or invent new enemies? You might call me crazy, but I'm thinking that we need less guns, more butter. Well, guns or butter, what are we gonna do? Teach our kids to read or invade Timbuktu? You might call me crazy for thinking like I do. Less guns, more butter. Our president, he loves his little toy soldiers so much he sends them out to hell and back. And our government, it could take the whole world over. It don't mean that much to me if I'm living in a shack. Well, guns or butter, what more can I say? If you're thinking like I do, I sure could use some help today. Just let them know this game of theirs ain't one we wanna play. Less guns, more butter. That's what I say.
Good evening, whatever the case may be. Here's another edition of Mike Dell's Lunch Update. Not that that's the point of all this. The point of it is I have got way more stuff going on in my life than I needed at this point. And this seemed like the best way to get out a bit of an update. Sorry for the noise, but I'm on the portable recorder. Heading over to get something for lunch. So that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. So anyway, the update. Let me car started here. Way too many bells and whistles going on here. You'll hear a beep in a second. Alright, maybe more than a second. Huh. You didn't hear the beep. Well, at some point during the trip, you'll hear beeps about every 2 minutes. That's my amateur radio automatic position reporting system. Beeps every time. It beeps every time the repeaters and the internet get a position report from me. I got that all hooked back up. But anyway, so what's been going on? Let's see, last Thursday I was minding my own business. There's the beep. Minding my own business, getting ready to take the dog over to the groomer to have him shaved for the summer. He's a golden retriever mix, and they don't normally have to be groomed, but sometimes it's a good idea, especially they feel cooler and everything, just nicer, less hair, whatever. So I go to grab the leash, and I thought, well, I'll kick him out the back door in the fenced yard, and I'll go do a couple things, and we'll head out to the groomer. So I get all my things done. I come in or go outside, and I call for him, and he's not there. I'm like, oh well. So I call for him again. Still doesn't come. I walk around the front of the house, and I see him. He's across the road. It's a 5-lane road, and it's toward the end of rush hour in the morning. And he heard me before I had a chance to not yell anymore, and he ran across the road and got clipped by a van. Pretty good hit on the rear end there, and the end result of that was he dislocated his hip, which required some surgery to repair. Otherwise okay, maybe a little bruised up, and a few little cuts here and there, but considering what could have happened, that's pretty lucky dog. But it's been a little expensive, and a lot expensive, and very frustrating few days. It's been 4 or 5 days already, and we've had to keep him calm, which isn't easy because his spirit's right back to normal, and he doesn't think anything's wrong, but he's got to sort of lay low for a while. Had a sling on his leg. It's kind of a weird setup, but keeps his foot from touching the ground. When he's standing up straight, of course he leans and it touches anyway, but it keeps him from putting all his weight on that hip. And that's been a bit of a challenge, especially the way our house is. We live in an old log cabin and doesn't have the most easily accessible doors. I guess the front door is a little better, but either way, you got to go down 2 steps to get outside. So, kind of a weird lash up. You got to get this big piece of cloth. It's not really a towel, but something similar to a towel, a big rag. We have to put under his belly and lead him down the stairs while holding his rear end up in the air. I guess you could call that assed up. But so it's been a little bit of a challenge nursing the dog back to health, but after a little while, I'm sure he'll get back to his normal self, at least for the time being. Anyway, he's my buddy. It's worth it, I guess. Then on top of that, the guy that hit him, of course, he felt bad and turned around and pulled in my driveway, and by that time I had the dog, led across, off the road and was dragging the leg, but otherwise, walking. Got him into the driveway, and I'm hanging on to him with a leash, and the guy reaches down to pet him, and the dog reached up and snapped him and bit him really good on the thumb. So he has a nice hole in his thumb. Which, okay, just to add insult to injury, or add injury to insult, I guess would be more appropriate. Anyway, the gist of that was, I gave him the dog tag number and my phone number and whatever, and name. So, I guess he had to go to the walk-in clinic to get it cleaned up and maybe sewed up. I don't know. So I don't know if I'll ever get a bill for that, but I definitely got a call from Animal Control. And Animal Control, he asked me about the incident and asked me about how, what the dog, where's the dog, and that they were going to put a 10-day quarantine on him. Of course, they'd quarantine him at home. I said, well, he's not home right now. He's in the hospital having surgery right now. They're at the dog hospital having surgery. And they were fine with that and, said, well, where can we meet you or whatever. And I said, well, where's your office? And found out where that was. I wouldn't do anything. So I went over to the office and filled out the report, signed the thing saying I would keep the dog quarantined for 10 days and report to them if the dog was acting weird, which of course he was, but that's because he was injured. And all that stuff. And then just before I left, she said, oh yeah, and I also got to write you a ticket. And I said, write me a ticket for what? It says for dog at large. Really? And at the time I wasn't thinking very clearly, but the guy was in my yard. And I said, I'm not mad at the guy, but the guy was in my yard. The dog was on a leash in my yard, and he got bit. Okay, that's not dog at large. That's injured dog in my yard, and the fool put his hand down there. Anyway, so I gotta go see the magistrate, which I don't think I'm going to do tomorrow, but maybe later this week. I've been running on low sleep the last few days for other reasons, which I'll get into after I go get my lunch. Because I have arrived at the location. So,
did you read this? Chicago just became the murder capital of America.
I don't understand. It's been a felony to have a gun since '95. I thought that was supposed to prevent murders, not increase them.
Criminals will always find a way to get guns, while the rest of us are just left defenseless.
Chicago authorities have seized over 75,000 firearms since 1995. And now, Chicago's murder rate is twice as high as New York City. Tonight, while you're asleep, criminals will be at work.
Not in Kennesaw, Georgia. In 1982, our city passed a law requiring every household to have a gun. It terrified the criminals, and our violent crime rate is now 75% below the national average. We sleep well here in Kennesaw.
Americans who own guns prevent over 1 million violent crimes every year and save lives. Get the facts. Visit armedandsecure.org. That's armedandsecure.org.
Okay, I'm back. That mission is complete enough, I guess. So let's see how much time I got left on my lunch break. 13 minutes, it says. But, well, they're not real hard and fast about that. So anyway, back to the dog story. Even the animal control officer said that usually the magistrate will cut you some slack if you haven't had any dog problems in the past. And so I'm hoping so. She said that's about another $100. I could think I have a lot of better things to do with $100 than give the county $100 because my dog had a freaking accident. That's just stupid, in my opinion. So, whatever. We'll have a little knockdown drag out. So, anyway, now story number 2. On the same day, I get informed by the principal of the local high school that our 15-year-old, the one that we have guardianship over, it's my cousin's son, has been skipping third hour for the last 2 weeks. And, just third hour, not a whole day. But, and that, they don't have a choice. They have to call the truant officer or whatever. I don't know what department they work for. Sheriff's Department or City Police, I don't know. But anyway, there's a truant officer. And of course that goes to the court also. And because the little shit's 15 instead of 16, that implicates me and my wife. And somehow we're supposed to know that the little crapper's skipping third hour when he's at a school. He's in 9th grade. And for 9th and 10th graders, it's a closed campus school. How is that our fault? Or how are we going to prevent that? So I have a meeting. I have a meeting in the morning. Excuse me. I have a meeting in the morning with the truant officer. So that's been a lot of fun. It's just like, hell, why in the heck didn't they say? Well, I had a nice little conversation with the principal. I don't think he likes me anymore. But what can I say? It's not my fault that the kid does that. Now, we've had other trouble with this kid. He's basically got the potential to be a good kid, and he does reasonably well in school, except if he doesn't like a subject, he just doesn't want to go, or doesn't do the homework, and so he kind of scoots by, but barely. And it's like, I don't know. So I'm kind of at my wit's end with that deal. Don't know what to do. Hopefully that won't cost me more money. So anyway, so that's I guess that'd be three things, because one, the dog getting hit by the car; two, the dog biting the guy who hit him with the car van, and having to go deal with the courts on that. I don't know. It's crazy. I don't know why this stuff all kind of piled on at once. I'm not the type of person that usually has that kind of problems. Accidents happen with the dogs and stuff. I felt guilty as hell, because I was calling him when he was across the street. Well, I didn't know he was across the street. Usually when he gets loose, which is not that often, he usually just hangs out at the neighbor's yard or goes behind the house, into the residential streets. We live on kind of a bigger road, and he usually doesn't get out. But what happens? He busted through the gate. The gate latches, but it doesn't latch really well. And if he's all excited about going because he saw me grab the leash, he could get overly excited and bump the gate and go. So I got to put a little bit better latching system on that gate. But anyway, that's the way it goes. As my uncle put it, it's just one of those nasty things that comes up in life. But why to have all that all at once? And I got to take the dog back to the vet this morning before I go see the truant officer to have his sling redone and get checked and all that. So I have no idea how much that's going to cost, but I guess it's worthy. Must have did a good job on the surgery, because he hasn't blown it out yet, and he's using the leg, which he's not really supposed to be doing, but he's able to use the leg, I should say. So anyway, wow, that's all rambling stuff. And let's see what else is new. Like I said, I got my APRS, amateur radio. Well, it's what do they call that? Automated Position Reporting System radio hooked up and working again. So not only when you go to the Track Me page at MikeDell.com will you be able to track my BlackBerry, but you'll be able to track my ham radio in the car, all using Google Maps API, both types of tracking. It is interesting sometimes, the BlackBerry only updates once an hour. This thing updates every 2 minutes. You keep hearing those beeps. So my radio sends out a signal, and it gets picked up by it's known as a digipeater, or a repeater station. Actually, in this case, there's one just west of town, up on a hill, but all over the country, they're all over the place, and it then transfers the packet, and it's just like really, 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 really slow internet. So it's only 1200 baud. Dial-up modem is 56,000 baud, and it's only half duplex instead of full duplex, so figure it's half of 1200 baud, but there's just a teeny little data packet, just sends my longitude and latitude, my call sign, and a little text string, so the radio only transmits for 3-4 seconds, and then when it gets to the digipeater retransmits it at same speed. Anyway, as it bounces between digipeater to digipeater to digipeater until it finds an internet iGate, they call it. It's not an Apple thing. It's just what they call it. It's a gateway from the amateur radio packet system into the internet. And there's also one of those south of town. I'm working on setting one up at my house. So there'll be another one here in town here shortly, which will be nice for the guy that runs the other one. We'll be able to share the load, so to speak, but there's really not much of a load because there's only 4 or 5 guys around here that use it. But if you go to that Track Me site there, actually there's 2 of them there. The one is aprs.fi. I don't know what FI stands for. I think Finland. You go there, click on the APRS-FI thing, you can go all over the country or all over the world and see where all the hams are, or at least all the hams that are running APRS. So I was kind of happy to get that going again. I had it set up for a long time, and then the way I had the radio mounted in the car and the way the plug for the GPS plugged into it lent itself to being bent, knocked out, whatever, and finally bent and broke the connector on the cable that goes to the GPS. And it's not a real standard cable. It's a super sub mini stereo. It's even smaller than what would be on an iPod or a Walkman or whatever. It's the next size smaller than that, so you couldn't even go to Radio Shack and get a replacement. I finally got around to ordering one online and got it all soldered in, and then while I was at it, I remounted the radio in the trunk of the car. The control head's up front, but the actual radio part's in the trunk now, away from harm for the most part. So I won't be breaking that cable again. And actually, it's much more efficient back there because the antenna's on the trunk lid. So the piece of coax I used to hook the antenna up to it is much shorter, which is more efficient. All that. This radio I got's pretty slick. It's a Kenwood. The same people make car stereos, but they make ham radios too. It's a Kenwood D700A. If you want to look that up, it's a dual band, dual mode radio with APRS built in. All you need to do really is hook up a GPS, do some setting up, and you're on the air with it. And the GPS I got's really kind of cool too. It's I don't know, about the size of a 50-cent piece and about half an inch thick with a magnet on the bottom of it, and it just sits out on the trunk lid, and that's all there is to it. There's no display, no nothing. It just puts out the data. and then the radio uses the data, and I've got a display on the radio that I can see my speed, longitude, latitude. I can see other packets, little messages that come across from other stations that are running APRS. It's moderately interesting, and only moderately useful, but very geeky, I think. So that's the APRS thing. But go check it out if you're at all interested. It's kind of cool. But now, with all the tracking things people have for their phones, it's a very similar technology. The phones do it a little more interestingly. And just to prove how much of a geek I really am, I don't know if I told you about the old cars that I drive. I don't buy new. I drive beaters, and I do that just because it's cheaper. Anyway, I've been through all that. But in this car right here, let's see, right now I have 4 GPSs. That's the 4 that I know about. I don't know if there's a GPS in my XM setup. But I have a TomTom I use for navigating. Of course, it's a console. I don't have it up on the window all the time. And then I have a Garmin GPS 5, which is a fairly old, simple GPS that I don't know why it's still in here. It's just never bothered to take it off. It's actually mounted to the dash. I mean, it's on a quick release mount, so I can take it out. It's actually the clickety click there. But and then I've got the GPS in the BlackBerry, which also will do turn by turn if I want. And then I've got the GPS on the back deck for APRS. Of course, I've got the Kenwood D700A radio. I've also got a XM radio, a Rode 2, plus the car stereo, plus the cassette adapter. Yeah, I do still have a cassette, but I have the cassette adapter so I can plug the iPod in. And it's all neatly mounted, well, not neatly, but mounted anyway, on the dash of the car, everything. And it's kind of fun, I get all the GPSs turned on and get all the radio displays and things turned on, and kind of looks like a rudimentary airplane cockpit in here. Except for half my dash lights are burnt out, so can't. The light behind the tachometer and half the speedometer is burnt out. But I can see the 0 to 80, so I don't think I have much use for 80 miles an hour to 140 miles an hour in this car. It's just a 4-cylinder Camry. And of course, lights in the gas gauge and all work. But and then if I want lights behind the heater control, I have to just tap the dash a little bit and the lights come on for that. But the minute I turn any of the knobs, the lights go out again. What a piece of junk, huh? But it still runs and still gets me there, and doesn't look too bad, actually. So, anyway, I'm just about back to the shop. Just about done with my lunch break, so I guess this is it for Mike Dell's lunch. I will likely have more to add to this podcast before I put it up, if I get time this morning. If not, I'll just put this up. But I'm not sure what number this would be, so I won't even attempt to take a guess at that. Excuse me. Damn. See if I can edit that out. I don't have a cough button on this recorder. I still got a couple more minutes anyway. One thing I'm wondering about, I've noticed this all along, but why is it that nobody can aim their damn sprinklers to not get in the road or in the street, as the case may be? It seems I can't go anywhere at night without having to deal with getting sprayed by somebody's errant sprinkler system. And of course, now it being spring, although it's kind of cold out, it's 40s. Well, of course, it's 4:45 in the morning too, so I guess should be cold, but it's May, for crying out loud. It's supposed to have May showers. Yeah, see, even at work here, the damn sprinkler covers half of the driveway here. But, well, stuff happens. So, anyway, we'll likely add to this later. Can find the damn stop button.
Searching for is right between my eyes. I think I'm home. I think I'm home. How nice to look at you again. On the road, along the road. Anytime you want me, you can find me living right between your eyes. Yeah, right between your eyes. Oh, right between your eyes. Unconcern yourself with that beyond control. It's a complicated lesson to simplify your soul. Now keep in mind there's always time. Each breath there is a way to remind me that the path I'm on will lead me home one day. Yes, I think I'm home. I think I'm home. How nice to look at you again. Along the road, along the road. Anytime you want me, you can find me. Yeah, right between your eyes. All right. I'm drifting towards the ocean, and I'm picking up the leaves. There's nothing I won't do to have you floating next to me. I think I'm home. I think I'm home. How nice to look at you again. Along the road, anytime you want me, anytime you need me, close your eyes and baby, I'll be there. Yes, I will. Right between your eyes, yeah. Oh, right between your eyes, right between your eyes. All right.
All right, well, it's a couple days later from when I recorded the lunch break audio from the car. I'm sitting out here on my back deck. Of course, well, you may not know, but I live really close to an airport, really close to a railroad track, and really close to a major street. So you're hearing planes, trains, and automobiles. Actually, mostly automobiles right now. Trucks. It's just the way it is. It's really not as bad as it sounds, but it's actually a really nice spot. I'm sitting out here on my back deck. It's just now getting to 70 degrees, and that's probably maybe the third time this year that it's been above 70, and it's wonderful. So rather than sit down in the studio and get out the broadcast mic and all that, I figured I'd just do it here. Had enough stuff going on there. And by the way, all the music today is from the group Hot Buttered Rum, off of various albums. Hopefully that wind noise isn't too bad. Just feeling it. But anyway, and I got that from Aerial Publicity, which if you're a Blueberry member, you can sign up and get PodSafe music over there yourself. So anyway, with that, let's see, update on the dog from a few days ago. He's doing really well. He's inside taking a nap. He's had a couple of tranquilizers there. And we give him a half a pill now. I don't know if I told you about the tranquilizers. Maybe I didn't. But anyway, that was what the vet ended up having us do instead of doing his leg brace again. And it's working out good. He's laying around. It's not nearly as hyper, but he's back to his old self. And, in a month or so, he'll be able to go chase the tennis ball again. So, very happy about that. And it's Friday morning. As I'm talking to you, I'm uploading a What's Up With That podcast that myself and Jim Farley did yesterday. Sort of a catch-up. 5 weeks we haven't done that one. And I'll also be uploading another extra topics, the extra class ham radio pod class. Be uploading that probably Saturday. Wife's going out of town, so I spent the morning getting her car ready to go, and so she's all ready to head out. And so me and the teenager are going to be home doing yard work, and me doing podcast work and all that good stuff. So anyway, thanks for listening. And I'll have a studio version of Mike Dell's World next time. Unless I decide to do it this way. It's my show. I can do what I want. Catch me later.
This podcast is part of the Blueberry Network. Find freshly picked podcasts just for you at blueberry.com. That's blueberry, no ease.com.
That's all, folks. This podcast is produced with Cast Blaster.